One of the best things you can get for survival stuff is a crossbow, even this little mini crossbow. This is an 80 pounder. One thing you also want to get is at least one extra string, probably a dozen extra strings, and lots of freaking bolts. I got one extra string, and I don't know how many bolts I got here, but it's quite a few, more than a few though, right? One thing I did do when I first did this, I didn't realize this latch was over here. I broke that latch off, but I could fix that with some metal, but I'm leaving it like that because to me it just gets in the way, because as soon as you bring it back, it stays in place anyway. It doesn't really get out of spot, out of position with the cocking handle anyway, even without the safety latch in there. It's not the safety mechanism for the trigger, it's just for this cocking lever. Note that the string too has a little bit of extra reinforcement right where you pull it back, which is good. And again, you want to make sure you get an extra string. These sights are they're plastic, they're not that great. The body is aluminum, but this is plastic. That's plastic. This sight was a little loose on here, like you can wobble it back and forth. Didn't affect too much how you aim it, but what I did was I put some super glue up and around in there, not on the screw itself, but where the sight attaches to the body itself. And like I said, this is an 80 pounder, so it's pretty powerful for what it is. Okay, so and go cock it. I'll show you what the hell it is. It's got some oomph to it. You can definitely take small game with it. There's no doubt about it, and quietly. So, big fat possum or something. I don't know. Whatever. So, forget what the cost on these are, but they're not much money. But I would get the 80 pounder versus the 50 pounder. That's quite a bit of difference in a pistol crossbow, and when you're talking about 120 pounds to 150 pounds or something with a full-size crossbow, the percentage difference is like 25% more. But when you're talking 30 going to 50, that's like 66% more, right? 67% more. That's a huge. 50 going to 80. Excuse me. That's 60% more, right? 60% more. That's a big jump. And it's still not hard to cock, to tell you that right now. So the safety, if you look at the safety here, when you pull this back, so it would pull this safety back, then you can't pull the trigger. So and then you push the safety forward, and you can pull the trigger. So as it gets cocked, it goes right in there, right? It goes back, so the safety automatically comes on. The only thing I busted on it was this little piece here that holds this handle down, but I don't really like that, doing that, because if I want to reload it real quick, I might be fumbling around with this bullshit. I'd rather just be putting it down and reload it real quick, because maybe you're shooting something that needs to be shot twice real quick, and you don't want to be screwing around with this bullshit, right? It's not that convenient having this on here, and it's not really necessary, because you can notice even when that's whatever you call that thing that pulls back the string, it doesn't, it stays in position, stays in position. Now I can always fix that with some metal and epoxy, put a piece over there, but I'm not going to unless I really think I need to. But I think it's better without this bullshit thing, but we shall see later on. But I like this not being able to function, because you can get that second shot in quicker. You might be messing around with this bullshit and not get that second shot quick. So let's cock this thing back. Okay, so to cock it, you hold it in your hand here, and you hold it in your hand there. You just bring it. It's easy to do, even like that. If you put that over your knee, it ain't nothing. So you notice the safety went back, so you hold it right in here, and you don't have. I got my arms fully extended. It wasn't even that big of a deal. So the safety's on. Then you'd stick the arrow in here, the flat side like that. Then see, we're gonna shoot it right here. See if we'll lose this one. Probably not. I don't know. Should be right there. So. Yeah, it's right here. Oh, where that other one went. First one I didn't film it though. So it's you know, you can see it goes into hard dirt pretty hard. So this thing would work okay. Oh, I just found the first one. It was right there, about a foot in front of the other one. I'm looking all over the place down here and shit. I thought it bounced. There it is. So I got all of them. But the tips, these things look like they unscrew. You can put these are metal ones. That's another thing. You want to make sure you get the aluminum ones, not the plastic ones. The aluminum ones hold up a lot better. So I'm thinking about, I'm going to paint these suckers hot pink or some shit on the fins. Probably clean them off with, what do you call it, starting fluid. Wipe them off real quick. Get some fluorescent hot pink paint or orange or some shit, because these things are, when they're black and this black piece hangs out the ground, like, forget it, man. Because, hey, whatever. But anyway, make sure you get like enough bolts with it, because I can't even find that bolt right now. I knew exactly where I shot it to from about 5 feet away. Probably find it a little later. The thing is, the plastic sights, I don't really like them, but what are you going to do for the price, right? I put a little bit of super glue on this one to hold it in more steady, because it was kind of rocking back and forth. And I'm probably going to put something on the back of this thing anyway, where it kind of holds it in there a little bit, so I just got to press it down a slight amount to open this up. In other words, it'd be modified from a stock a little bit with a metal clip and epoxy. Probably got to watch these sights, because if you smack this around, see how loose that crap is? Freaking not too cool, right? But if you break that, you can always probably put some kind of gun sights on there. You know, see this is plastic over here for the elevation, and here's the windage. That's plastic holding that in. So, you know, but it is what it is. If you put, you could probably get a longer broadhead arrow. You know, it's an 80 pounder, so that's 60% more power than a 50 pounder, which is quite a bit. I mean, considering when you go from 120 to 150 pounds on a full-size crossbow, which you can't freaking cock like this real easy. You know, you're talking 25% more to go from a 120 to 150 pounder. So this is 60% more. I'd definitely go with the freaking 8. You know, in other words, in a pistol crossbow, you definitely want to go with the 80. I can actually put this over my knee like that and cock it from that angle and put my hand here, and I can have no problem, right? You can see I was able to cock it no problem, even not over my knee. But that's the one thing I was wondering about with this bullshit. But you know what I'll probably do is probably have it modified a little bit, so I just touch it and it opens up, releases it. So anyway, this is the Cobra self-cocking, whatever, pistol crossbow, whatever the hell it is. Not bad, not bad. Now, you probably could shoot, like if you shot a broadhead arrow, it would have to be long enough to clear this front sight. It would have to stick out there. I don't know if you're really supposed to do that, but say you were trying to shoot some kind of big game with this for an emergency, you know, life and death situation. I'd rather shoot something big with this fucking thing, and you know, have 80 pounds of meat versus going around shooting little critters, right? If you really needed the food. But I guess if you got close enough with an 80 pounder like this with a broadhead arrow, it probably would do it. Then if you can cock it really fast and get a second shot, you know, it might be alright. Who knows? But you'd have to have something long enough to go out past this to clear that front sight. But yeah, maybe, I don't know. Now, of course, when I have this laying in here, this bow is not cocked. You also don't want to have the string cocked, the bow cocked. You're not safe for long periods of time. You want to cock it right when you're ready to use it. And you know, that's the beauty of these pistol ones, because they're fast to cock. They're just, and I definitely would recommend going with the 80 pounder versus the 50. Doesn't seem like it's a big deal to freaking cock it. It's not a toy though, man. This thing can kill you, man. It's something you freaking just watch where you're pointing it. And I think they're legal every damn place in the United States. This one's made in Taiwan, you know, so Taiwan, a little bit better quality in China usually. But I keep all this crap in a plastic bag, and probably be best if they, you know, I don't know if they ever sell these, or maybe they need to paint them. Maybe I paint them freaking fluorescent yellow or even hot pink or some bullshit, because if you're practicing with these things, they're easy to lose. And it's not the bow that costs you so much money, it's these damn bolts and even the strings. They're another few bucks each, but you know, if you lose a bunch of bolts real quick, it can add up pretty quick. But these little guys aren't too much money, but still, you don't want to lose them, and you don't want to break them. You want to shoot into something that's soft, you know, nice soft backing, not plywood. You shot this into this, you'd be breaking this bitch all the time, you know, or bending it or something. So anyway, that's a wrap. This is a very good survival tool, very cheap, something people ignore. Legal everywhere pretty much. I think it is. I mean, maybe there's some cities it's not legal in, I don't know, but I think it's legal all 50 states, even New Jersey. And it's quiet. It's quiet. So maybe you could get your deer with this bad boy if you got a broadhead arrow. If you're really close, you're not supposed to do it with this, but if you really had to, if you had a big long broadhead arrow that stuck out the end here, you got there close enough, and you got that second shot real quick, I guess you would be able to do it, maybe, you know. I think this has probably got, even this little bolt's probably got as much lethal force as a 22, you know, or an 80 pounder. So there's your safety, like I said. So it automatically cocks. Right now it's uncocked, so if you, as a bow gets strung, you know, I mean, a bow gets cocked, it goes back into position, then safety's on. Then you take it off, and I put a little special oil on there so it's releases smoother, you know. Yeah, I don't know, it's not too bad for what it is, but just beware of some plastic crap on here. If you're knocking it around, you can bust this sight, you can knock that out of position real easy, you can break that little tip off of there. And if I ever do that, it's going to wind up getting replaced with metal shit, no doubt about it. So, and like even this, you put a piece of like 10 gauge steel over this, I think this works by, yeah, see, there's no spring in there, it's actually the plastic that's the spring. It's pretty cheesy, man, pretty cheesy. I think you can knock these sights out of whack pretty easy, so you have to be careful with them. Not to, you know, there's better sight setups than that. If you're really using this a lot, you probably want to put something on there that's made for like a rifle, and change that to a like metal thing. And you could probably put a bigger, you can modify this so it's a big round thing, or like maybe come out like this oval, so you could put a broadhead in here maybe where, you know, maybe it could, the broad part of the broadhead could slide it through here. I don't know. You might be able to, or maybe part of it could just be. You could have a shorter broadhead. I'm not sure. You could do that if it could fit in there. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. But you know, there's always a way to modify shit to make it a lot better. And like when they make these, they sell them as cheap as possible. And they package them up and all this crap, and they make them look all real pretty, right? That's usually what they do. Not really designed for the true survivalist. So if you find that this bad boy is not to your liking because of the sights or plastic, you can change them. Here it is, 80 pound self-cocking pistol, 27 bolts, extra string. So probably 26 bolts if I can't find that one, but I'll find it. So very good idea. Very good idea.